Shadow the new Praetorian. The fake news that we are using today comes from Reuters and the Washington Post, respectively. The opinions and ideas on today's program are that of the Laughing Ogre and are not meant to represent the opinions or ideas of any sane human being. Now, folks, has Trump lost his mojo? Will he not keep his promises? The Ogre's about to tell you. Sit back and relax, because once again, here comes the Laughing Ogre! I am Jack's disdain for stealing from the rich and giving to the poor, no matter how valiant an idea that may seem to you, constant viewer. Don't come and take what's mine and make it yours. Not when I risk my life, my limb, and everything that I am to achieve what I have. Listen, I'm not going to be terribly vitriolic today. Thanks a lot, Real Me. It's good that you're here to help me out. Thanks to you, constant viewer. Without you, there would be no me. I'd like to give just a quick special shout out to a couple people right now. I'd really like to give my thanks to Razor Fist, the Rageaholic. He's going to be here the 3rd of next month, not the 17th, as your beloved, ever-loving, blue-eyed ogre has said in previous videos. But this will get long if I continue to just give shout-outs, so the only one that I have left is Buckshot Santos, coming soon. I hope that he would be a producer on our show. He's very humble. He says he wouldn't want any credit, but Holy Santos, if you're a producer on the show, you will get credit for it, sir. We're not going to ask for any money here, okay? If you want to give some money to the Ogre and what he does, it will all be thrown at production and promotion. I'm fairly fortunate. I'm not rich. I should say that. But I'm fairly fortunate that at the end of the month, there's more money than there is month for me. And a lot of people don't have it that way. So I want to move right on from that. I feel a little strange right now, I guess, because I used to work for a church. And if you've never worked for a church, they actually require you to ask, for money from people that may or may not have it. And if you say, well, I don't want to ask Mrs. Jones because I know she don't have a whole lot, they don't really care. And I'm not downing the church, or supporting it. I still am a member of this church, but I do no longer work for them. When they came to me and said, we're going to do financial planning for people, and what I found out that meant was they were going to try to talk old folks into leaving their fortunes, in some cases, to the church so that their children wouldn't have a chance to destroy their life with that evil money. But of course, it's not evil if it's in the hands of this church. Anyway, that said, some folks that watch me are going to know who I'm talking about. That's fine with me, because I want to root out hypocrisy no matter where that hypocrisy's found. I don't want you taking from me or from Buckshot Santos. He doesn't want you taking from him. And I'm going to tell you right now, you try to take from Buckshot, just think about his name, folks. All right, now listen, I can't just sit here and editorialize all day or philosophize, because I'm going to have something to do. I'm going to have some of that to do later. But I got on Drudge, as I am wont to do. And what did I find? Reuters, angry over U.S. healthcare fail. Trump voters spare him the blame. And then you see this wonderful picture right here of some angry Americans. It looks like to me they're releasing doves, the red, white, and blue. These boys got their shirts off and showing that they're ready. They're fit lads. They're ready to do whatever it may be that they need to do. Right now, all they need to do is let their voice be heard. If the left can go out and cry and whine, this left, I won't say liberal, because as I was talking to Cabbage Patch Bastard earlier today, hey, you can't hijack our word. I'm a liberal. I don't want to have to qualify it by saying classical liberal. I'm liberal with freedom. I'm liberal about the idea of you need to have your First Amendment right so that you can say what you want, and your Second Amendment right to make sure the government cannot stop you from saying such. So let's see what this drivel says here in Reuters. I'm not going to go too long on this because I want to play a little video, and we'll talk about it for a second. How's that sound? This is by Leslie Stein, Newport Richey, Florida, is where Mrs. Stein dwells, writing for Reuters. The day after the flaming out of U.S. President Donald Trump's first major legislative initiative, his supporters across America are lashing out at conservatives, at Democrats, at leaders of his Republican Party in Congress. I'm not going to be able to go through this drivel and not say anything, folks. Why is it when these people right here get together, and it ain't racial? Santos said he wouldn't like me calling him Mexican. He's American, but he looks more like this gentleman right here, I'm assuming. I work with the base mama is brown. I wouldn't call her white. She's brown. She's half Native American, Indian, Cherokee, if I remember correctly. I work with a diversity of people, but what's more important to me is diversity of ideas. If these people, this insane left, if you don't have their ideas, you are lashing out. If you have their ideas, you can go and burn Milo Yiannopoulos out of a speech. You can run the bell curve man is missing my mind. I should have had his name ready, but I just bought his book because I wanted to put a couple dollars in his pocket. And I can't believe that a scientist that is bringing science to the masses is drummed out of a college. Insanity! That's all I have to say about that. So let me go on a little bit here. Only Trump himself, so it says that they're lashing out at conservatives, at Democrats, at leaders of the Republican Party in contrast. Only Trump himself was spared their wrath because he is the president. He is presiding over this. He has told you how it was going to work. He said he's going to do his very best to repeal and replace. And if not, it will be crushed under its own weight. Many voters who elected him appeared largely willing to give him a pass on the collapse of his campaign promise to overhaul the U.S. healthcare system, stressing that his short time in office, stressing his short time in office. He says, now this is a quote, being a businessman, he'll not take no for an answer, said Tony Napa, a 71-year-old from Trinity, Florida, one of the many disappointed Republicans on his weekend softball team. He'll get the job done. And you know what? I believe, I have to agree with Mr. Napa. I believe that he is not only going to get the job done, he is getting the job done. He's actively getting it done as we speak. Support for Trump appeared unflagging from the playing fields of a Republican stronghold in Central Florida to the small town diners of North Carolina. I've been to a lot of them small town diners, some of them right there in Pinehurst. Beautiful place to find out some stuff and to talk politics with people that won't tell you that we don't talk about politics or religion. There are no topics that should be out of bounds. It's just a way of shutting somebody down. You know what? There'll be a link to this pile of rubbish because I'm not going to waste my time reading anymore. And I've got something that's, to me, just about as full of crap here. This is the Washington compost pile, to quote, I can't say that without laughing really, but it's the Washington compost pile, to quote Dice, Mark Dice. You know, I don't know if he coined it, but it's pretty funny. So let's have a listen, shall we, folks?
We came really close today, but we came up short. Yeah, we're going to be living with Obamacare for the foreseeable future. I don't know how long it's going to take us to replace this law.
We were very close. It was a very, very tight margin. I've been saying for the last year and a half that the best thing we can do, politically speaking, is let Obamacare explode. It is exploding right now.
We want to make sure that we repeal the Affordable Care Act and replace it with something that drives down health care costs and insurance premiums, and this doesn't do it.
Many of the people who will be deprived of health care are people
Oh, I hate that woman.
who live in rural parts of our country or
What a horrible, horrible human.
Americans.
Trump care would be a nightmare for the American people, causing
It was Senator Schumer, you understand? I'm doing my best to let this roll, folks, but it's you know. In fact, this, you know, it's going to be a lot of just text, so I don't know what else I'm going to let go.
Can you get the vote, Mr. President?
Think so.
He is all in, and we are all in to end this Obamacare nightmare.
We continue to see the enthusiasm and momentum come into our direction. So I'm not looking, as I mentioned, we're not looking at a plan B. We have plan A. It's going to pass.
Voting for this is bad today, and it's going to be really bad in 2 or 3 years when the changes start kicking in and health insurance prices start going through the roof.
Trying to keep myself out of the way of this stuff here.
There are not enough votes as of 1:30 today.
Man. Again, you know, if you read along, folks, I want you to see this. Projected deficit dropped. I mean, look, with the projected decrease in insured Americans remained at 24 million people. They're telling you this is a horrible. They can't even spend this. It's impossible to spend it.
7.5 years, we have been promising the American people that we will repeal and replace this broken law because it's collapsing and it's failing families. And tomorrow we're proceeding.
You have the vote?
Speaker, if we
We saw a giant backward step with the gutting of the essential benefits.
Essential benefits. The benefit is you live in America. Go make some money. Get your hand out of my pocket.
Republicans offer today H.R. 1628, the American Health Care Act of 2017.
You know, what are you going to do? Listen, folks, this is the New World Order. I'm going to talk about it here in a second. That's it. We're going to cut this drivel off. Listen, people. The Hegelian dialectic is real. Thesis, antithesis, synthesis. To make it more simple, problem, reaction, solution. You have a group of people, they have an agenda. They want you to depend on them. They want to be your only place you can turn to. They are mother's milk and father's sheltering arm. Come into the warm embrace, but then abide by mother and father's rule, or you can't live under our roof. So you have problem, reaction, solution. You have a group of people, they want something done. They want humanity to serve them. They don't want humanity to be able to pull out their buckshot Santos. They don't want humanity to be able to say whatever they feel like saying, as long as it's not a call to violence or a call to action. They don't want humanity to live, my constant viewers. They want to bring it down. Look at the Georgia Guidestones. Listen, your beloved blue-eyed ogre doesn't always get into this stuff, but now it's time for you to know the truth about me. I know about them, and they want to rule over you with an iron fist. Imagine a human face, Winston. Now imagine a boot stamping on that face. For eternity! They don't see us as human beings. It's not the right and the left. They've played that paradigm for so long. They've wore that song out on the fiddle until the bowstrings break. Don't dance to the tune. If you're told by someone you can get something for nothing, they are lying to you. If you're not offering someone a service, if you're not offering somebody a product, whether that be intellectual property, whether it be a cog or a widget, whether it be an automobile, whether it be a television commercial, or anything in between. If someone says you deserve something, you're being lied to. Listen, constant viewers, you are not special. There is nothing about me that makes me special. I'm a human being with a heart, with veins, with a brain that works. I can observe situations. I can take the knowledge that I get from the multitude of counselors that I'm so fortunate to be surrounded by. I will say this. Today, because of that multitude of counselors, your beloved, ever-loving, blue-eyed ogre will take a chug of water for the Britisher. Adam's Ale. Can't be beat, Brit. So the point is, don't steal from somebody. And constant viewer, if you come here to see me get trashed and to jump up and down like a madman on the live streams and on these videos here, you might be disappointed in the future. Why? Because I don't need someone to censor me. I don't need somebody to tell me what I can and can't say. When I'm surrounding myself with people that are kind enough to give me their time, in some cases may even be kind enough to give me their hard-earned money, I'm not going to do what they say. But I will always remember that I am representing someone else. And if you decide to represent someone else, if you want to continue to represent that person, you will act accordingly. And I have to admit, I've never had a job in my life where it was just okay to guzzle booze. And constant viewer, I believe that I was called to do this for you. I believe that I was created to bring you information and knowledge, and hopefully an entertaining and a thought-provoking way. Yeah, before I toot my horn all day long or start saying things that I don't mean, I want to say that I'm humbled. I'm humbled by Mr. James Woods that swung by and gave me a little tweeter, a little DM on my tweet. Told me, well done. He probably does. He probably does know how impactful those words were to the ogre here. He probably understands that it would give me the energy to continue to ring that bell of alarm. To arms, to arms. In intellectual arms, I must say. If we're ever pushed too far in a corner, whatever happens will happen, and no one will need me to tell them when. When someone says, "Put down those guns, you rebel scum," what do we Americans say? Ah! Not because someone made a call to violence or said it's what we should do, but for the same reason that I'm not going to act a fool. Because I'm representing someone. And what do we represent, England? What do we represent, America? We represent freedom. We represent the right of the individual to choose the path that he will take, no matter if that path seems crazy to you. If you want to shoot heroin into your penis, and you want to sit in your house and smoke crystal meth, do it. Don't take my lawnmower, or my wife may shoot you. The only thing I have to say to the Democrats and the Republicans that are engaged in this Hegelian dialectic can be said with the flyer that you see behind me at this moment. Listen, folks, you got any comments about this, put them down there. If you care to like it, like it. If you don't like it, hey, tell your enemies about it. Maybe they won't like it too. You never know. It could be a win-win for everybody. Go ahead and share this with somebody. Tell them I'm crazy. Tell them I'm stupid. Tell them I'm intelligent. Tell them whatever you want. But help me help you. If you don't have the courage to stand up and say that we have the First Amendment right so that we can say what we want, and the Second Amendment right is there so that we can say it no matter who says we can't, hey, I'll say it for you. I will never stop saying that. I have some other things to talk about the Second Amendment. They'll be coming up directly. Because the Second Amendment has been under fire for a long, long time. And it's time that we stopped it. If you're an American citizen and you're not in a prison somewhere, I don't even want to get in there right now. If you're a free American, you should be able to have the weapon of your choice right here. You should be able to have the weapon of your choice anywhere you want to have it. And if you are in a situation where your life or your property is at risk, or your freedom of speech, you should pull said weapon. Everyone, in my humble opinion, should be like the famous and the great Doc Holliday, who when he saw a man murdered in Denver, Colorado at a card game, he thought to himself, if I'm going to be a card cheat, which he was, a brilliant one, he was a magician basically, and he fooled a lot of people because nobody's that lucky. But he said, if I'm going to be a card shark, a card sharper, then I'm going to have to learn to defend myself. And he spent a lot of time paying a boy to gather up bottles from the local bars and then go up the Colorado River and throw them in one at a time. He told him to count to 10 and throw them in. And he would practice drawing his 32 and his 44. I believe they were both Navy Colts. And he would practice a boom, boom. And he practiced that until one would not bob by. So I encourage you, my fellow Americans. Hey, we live in a country where that's what we can do. Arm yourselves. Learn how to use that weapon. Be prepared to defend yourself and to defend your family against anything that would trample your freedom. And that includes this insane steal from the rich to give to the poor. Now I must say it, folks. Remember, be good to your friends. Be good to your family. Be good to your loved ones. Be quick to say you're sorry. Be even quicker to accept an apology, especially when that thing your friend, your family member, your loved one has done seems to be so huge you'll never be able to forget about it. Because, constant viewer, beloved American brothers and sisters, my British friends, at a time you think not, your friends, your family members, your loved ones, your First and your Second Amendment will depart from you. Hey, listen, City Rundown, man, look, I got my eyeball out for you still, brother. I'll never forget about you, man. I don't know if you're watching, but I want to know what you think. They ain't got no amendments over there. You got no freedom of speech.
Just Count Angela out. Cheesy as fuck. There you go.